History is not made only by battles and kings. Sometimes, the greatest changes in kingdoms came not from swords, but from hearts. Tonight we will walk slowly through candlelit castles, whispering gardens, and secret chambers where forbidden love affairs change the fate of entire nations. These are not fairy tales. These are the untold passions that altered the course of history.
In 12th century Paris lived a man named Peter Abelard. He was not a king, nor a warrior, but a philosopher. His mind was sharp, his tongue sharper, and his reputation filled the lecture halls of the Cathedral School of Notre Dame.
Among his students was a young woman named Heloise. She was not like the others. She was brilliant, fluent in Latin, and unafraid to challenge her teacher. Soon, lessons of philosophy turned into whispers of affection, and then into love.
But theirs was a forbidden love. She was the niece of a powerful churchman, Canon Fulbert. When Fulbert discovered the affair, he was furious. Abelard and Heloise secretly married, but secrecy is fragile. Their passion could not be hidden. Soon, the scandal was everywhere.
Fulbert's revenge was brutal. One night, Abelard was attacked in his sleep. He was mutilated, castrated, and humiliated. His career as a man of passion was destroyed. Heloise was forced into a convent. Yet, their love lived on, in letters exchanged for decades. Letters filled with longing, sorrow, and philosophy.
Their romance was forbidden, tragic, but eternal. In the Middle Ages, when kings fought for crowns, Abelard and Heloise fought only for love. And they lost. Yet their story still haunts us almost 1,000 years later. In 14th century England, King Edward II was crowned with all the splendor of royalty, but he was not like other kings. His heart did not belong to his queen, Isabella of France. Instead, it belonged to a man, Piers Gaveston.
Gaveston was charming, daring, and loyal. The king adored him. He gave him titles, lands, and gifts beyond measure. But the English nobles were outraged. They saw Gaveston as a corrupting influence, a foreign intruder, and a dangerous favorite. Again and again, they forced Edward to banish him. And again, Edward brought him back. Their bond was stronger than political pressure. But power has limits. In 1312, the barons captured Gaveston. They executed him without mercy. Edward was broken. His reign spiraled into disaster. Nobles rebelled. Even his wife, Isabella, turned against him. In the end, Edward was captured and imprisoned. His death was cruel and mysterious, whispered to have been torture.
All because a king loved where he should not have loved, and England would never forget the scandal of a monarch's forbidden passion. Centuries later, far away in Russia, another ruler rose to power, Catherine the Great. She was not born Russian, but German. Married to the weak and foolish Peter III, her marriage was cold, loveless, and filled with humiliation. Catherine found solace not in her husband, but in her lovers. Grigory Orlov, a strong and ambitious officer, helped her seize the throne in a coup. Later, Prince Potemkin became her confidant, her companion, perhaps her true partner in both love and rule.
Her affairs were whispered across Europe. Some admired her for using passion as a tool of politics. Others mocked her with cruel rumors. But one truth remained. Through love, Catherine held power. She ruled for decades, expanding Russia into a true empire. Her throne rested not only on armies and laws, but also on the secrets of her heart.
In 16th century England, King Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon, but he desired another woman, Anne Boleyn. Unlike others, Anne resisted. She would not be his mistress. She demanded more. She demanded a crown.
Henry was obsessed. To have Anne, he broke with the Catholic Church. He defied the Pope. He declared himself head of the Church of England, all for love, or perhaps all for desire.
Anne became queen, but her reign was fragile. She bore a daughter, Elizabeth, but no son. Henry grew restless, suspicious, and cruel. Soon Anne was accused of treason, adultery, even witchcraft. In 1536, she was executed at the Tower of London.
Her fall was tragic, but her daughter, Elizabeth, would rise to become one of England's greatest monarchs. Through forbidden love, religion changed, kingdoms trembled, and history shifted forever.
Long before the Middle Ages, in ancient Egypt, there lived Cleopatra, last queen of the Nile. Her throne was threatened, her enemies many. But Cleopatra had her own weapon: charm, intelligence, and the art of love.
She seduced Julius Caesar. With his support, she regained her throne. Later, after Caesar's death, she turned to another Roman, Mark Antony. Their love was passionate, scandalous, and dangerous. Together, they dreamed of ruling East and West, but Rome was unforgiving. Octavian, Caesar's heir, declared war. At Actium, Antony and Cleopatra's fleet was destroyed. Surrounded by defeat, they chose death over humiliation. Antony fell on his sword. Cleopatra, legend says, held an axe to her breast.
Egypt lost its freedom. Rome took control. A love affair had ended a dynasty.
Back to medieval England, Isabella of France was queen to Edward II. But her marriage was loveless, her husband more devoted to Piers Gaveston than to her. Isabella endured humiliation until she found strength in another man, Roger Mortimer.
Together, Isabella and Mortimer plotted rebellion. In 1326, they invaded England. Edward II was captured. He was forced to abdicate. Mortimer and Isabella ruled in the name of the young Edward III. For 4 years, Isabella lived as queen in all but name. Her love affair had toppled a king. But power shifts quickly. When Edward III came of age, he executed Mortimer, stripping Isabella of her influence. She lived the rest of her life in quiet isolation.
Her forbidden love changed a kingdom, but it could not last forever.
History remembers kings for their battles, queens for their crowns, and empires for their conquests. But behind the banners and the blood, there were whispers of love. Love that broke churches, love that drowned fleets, love that toppled thrones. Abelard and Heloise, Edward and Gaveston, Catherine and Potemkin, Henry and Anne, Cleopatra and Antony, Isabella and Mortimer. Their names echo not only in politics and war, but also in passion and desire. Perhaps when we think of history, we should remember that kingdoms are not only shaped by swords and treaties, but also by the secret beating of hearts hidden in the shadows of time. And now, may you close your eyes and let history drift you into sleep.